You've tuned into Bellingham Podcast Media Tech for the week of October 21st, 2016, episode 16. I'm AJ Barcet.
And I'm Chris Powell. On this episode, AJ will help you cut the cord while still enjoying what you want to watch when you want to watch it. I've had it with YouTube distractions, and I'm going to share some ways to just watch the video. And we'll share our favorite spots in the Roosevelt District of Bellingham. All that and more next on a Fast-Paced BPM Tech.
Fast-paced? It's more like fast and unfurious.
We are subdued in this case. How are you, AJ?
Exhausted. I'm slowly getting some more sleep, but slowly being the key word.
I gotcha.
How about you?
Doing just fine. As we're recording this, things are going along pretty well. It's in a sun break right now, not quite rain. But it's been cloudy for the most part. It must be October.
Hey, I noticed that you got something new on your wrist. What's ticking?
What's ticking? Definitely not a time bomb. No, I wanted to explore the dark side of a little of Watchville, and while I've had some analog watches in the past, I wanted to have something like, just in case something happens, I don't need to be reliant on a battery. And so Citizen is a brand that is well known, and they have an Eco Drive brand. And so in the newbieville, as I'm trying to be able to relate with you and all of your watch expertise, I got myself a murdered out stealthy black Citizen Eco Drive.
Cool. One of the things that's nice about Eco Drive that you alluded to is that you don't have to worry about changing the battery. Why is that?
There's a solar panel on the face. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Mon Capitan, but it charges with light.
Yeah.
And even though we don't have much sunlight in this, next 6 months, I like the fact that the experiences I've had with having to change a battery in a watch, and I don't have to open up the back of it for a while. I just move. I just do my thing and it'll stay charged. So giddy up, let's go. Let's give it a try.
No, the Eco Drives are great. I have a smaller version of that watch, and what's great about it is as long as you're not a vampire, it just keeps ticking.
That works with me. Yes, no vampire stuff here. So AJ, what you drinking?
I'm just drinking my normal. Afternoon on a weekday. I drink coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon. So just my normal cheap black tea.
All right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, along the same lines of time, I also have my completed project that I've been working on.
Yes, and it looks pretty darn customizably awesome.
It is customizably 4 months of time. So I've been working on my watch, and I got it done. I partnered with a local company I mentioned in the last show, Found Leather Goods down in Fairhaven. And Nikki, I hope you're still listening. I'm still giving you a shout out. So I went down there and worked with them and told them about the project, and they hooked me up with some time in their shop and some materials, and the awesome NATO inspired leather watch strap that you're looking at is all handmade by me.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
It's good color balance for your color palette and that for your wardrobe palette. Now, to see this, I know that you have some pictures around of this watch. Where's a couple places that someone can check out the pictures of your homebrew watch design?
Yeah, so this hasn't been a photography project really at all. Like, it's just been a labor of love. Something I can hand down to my son and stuff. And I mean, this watch was actually at his birth. The watch bezel that I'm timing our show with was the same watch bezel that I used to time my wife's contractions. I just blogged about it, and it's blog.ajbarcet.com. And there's a few other places that it's posted, but it's merely just a technologist and tinkerer's attempt to be a watchmaker, and all the failures that I did in between.
But the best part about it is, AJ, every watch has a story, and right there you've given like 2 or 3 stories about it, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
So that was it. That's my adventure with it, and I look forward to the next phase of our next project. I'm going to keep going with my horology. I'm going to take another tangent, and I got another watch case coming in. So more on that later.
Sounds good.
So last episode, we talked about the Holiday Hunger Games.
Yes.
And one of the things I jokingly said is that there's the battle for the living room. And this is something that we have seen time and time again in technology, just different services and technologies that tries to vie for our couch potato time. And one of the things one of our colleagues asked us this last week is, how in the heck can I save money and not pay cable? And this is something that I've dove into a few times, but it kind of came to a head this last week because I've been messing around with my PS4, and one of the things that I've been really teetering on possibly diving into is something called PlayStation Vue. Sony themselves have their own on-demand / live, if you want to call it, television programming. I mean, it's basically you buy cable over the internet and it streams to a PlayStation device, whether it's, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vue, PlayStation. I think there's even an app. I don't know.
So is this a way to eliminate Comcast?
You betcha. Oh. Now, on the same note, you said the C word.
In this case, yes, the TV C word.
The TV C word or the X word. Something that I got in my inbox this same week is a notification from said company saying that here in Bellingham, we now have enforced data caps. Have you gotten the same thing?
I got the same thing.
Yeah, so this is something that this is a hot button topic in technology, is the fact that we pay for the pipe to the internet. And is it okay and or legal and or whatever that companies can throttle how much of that pipe that we pay for? And so here in Bellingham, or at least with my tier that I'm paying for, I have I think it's 1,000 terabytes or 100 terabytes.
It might be a terabyte.
Or is it a terabyte? Really? Is it that low?
Well, I'm not sure how much mine was, but they said we're going to cap you at 1 terabyte, but your normal usage in your household is about 200 to 250 gigabytes.
Okay. Yeah, I was mixing. I moved my comma. You're right. It was a terabyte of bandwidth.
Bandwidth streaming.
Yes.
Or a data
bidirectional.
Yes.
Yeah. So why do I mention this? Like you just said, like what does an average household use in data? For instance, if you're just playing video games and watching the Netflix on a couple of devices, you're right, you'll probably rack up a couple hundred gigs. Mm-hmm. But I said bidirectional. That means if you push up and pull down. So for instance, if you're a video gamer and you stream your feed as well as you're playing online, that means you're pulling down and pushing up. You could be chomping that terabyte pretty fast.
All those pull downs and push ups are a healthy workout for your internet
muscles.
That's right.
But the other thing that it arose a red flag for me is backup. You and I talk about this a lot.
Oh yeah.
What if you have it's not unheard of having a video and or photograph and or music catalog that you back up to the cloud legally. I'm thinking of services like Amazon Prime's photo app.
Mm-hmm. Google has unlimited photo.
There's several of these storages. All of that affects your bottom line of your now imposed data cap if you're on Comcast. So the reason why I bring this up is, one, we're going to talk about the living room, but two, it could have easily been put in your junk mail. You might want to go through your junk mail or spam mail and take a look at that email, possibly from Xfinity Comcast, if you're in the Bellingham area, and see what your cap is and see what your usage is specifically.
And also one thing, as you're looking at the junk mail spam folder, do be careful about clicking on any links. They should spell it out for you in text without having any links for you to click on, by the way.
Right.
So there you go.
We're both laughing because we've had several instances that we've been dealing with phishing lately. Yes. Phishing with a PH. Yes. Do not click the link that, would you like to go to your Comcast account now? No, just go to Comcast and then sign in, please.
Or if anything, if you have the chance to get your online access to Comcast, or
right.
if you have that set up, go check your online account. They probably have a notification within your account as you log in.
Exactly. So getting back on topic, because we segued. So PlayStation Vue, if you're a Sony user and you have like one of their smart TVs like a Bravia, or if you have a PlayStation of some sort, this is a viable option for you, because you can basically pay as little as, I think it's like $20 a month or $30 a month is their low or middle tier, and it gets you 50 channels.
A good portion of the 2 through 67, what you would currently see, probably without a lot of those shopping channels and C-SPAN political channels, and perhaps any other foreign language channels, should there be some, you get pretty much the bell curve of the popular channels out there currently in cable land.
Yeah. Now, obviously there's probably a few of listeners thinking, well, what about sports? you can add on. I mean, it's basically a cable package. You can go up to the next tier and pay a little bit more and get those channels. Now, what's interesting about this approach, taking the internet approach of cutting the cable or cord shaving, depending on the way that you're going here, cutting the cord usually refers to that you are killing cable, period, and you're just going with internet, which our colleague recently just did. Yep. Cord shaving is maybe you keep the basic cable plan and then you augment it using maybe apps like HBO Go. Stars has an app similar to that.
Verizon Mobile, perhaps.
Verizon Mobile. Yeah. That's a way of shaving the cord, as it were, and that's just so that you can get what you want when you want and not have to pay as much as just getting it bulk through cable. Another way of doing this is Sling TV, and I believe Sling TV was purchased
DirecTV?
I believe by DirecTV, and this was out of the talks of, I believe, the Aereo court case. A couple years back, there was a startup company called Aereo that was using the time shifting clause within the Digital Millennium Copyright Act and a few other American-based copyright laws that we have on the books, and they lost. And I believe right after that, they decided to partner with DirecTV or Dish. I can't remember which one. And the reason I bring that up is because the options that we're talking about, these are not like couch tuner, ad hoc, things that you would do in college to save money on your bill. These are legitimate ways to get programming that you may already pay, $80 a month to Comcast or DirecTV, but maybe you're paying a little bit too much, and or you don't get the on-demand feature. And so Sling TV is another option. What's nice about them is the previous one that I mentioned is predominantly Sony. I mean, you have to have a Sony product. Sling works on just about everything. If you got a Chromecast, golden. If you got an Apple TV, golden. If you got a Roku,
you're golden.
You're golden.
That's right.
Love me my Roku.
Uh-huh.
And so I just want to throw out them because that's an interesting way of going about this as well. And they're, again, whether you look at PlayStation View or Sling TV, look at their packages, and see if the bulk of the channels that you actually watch are in there. Maybe it'll save you some money. And
it could be a great way to analyze. I'm paying how much for my television and how much for my internet and how much for my phone with Comcast. Next show, we're going to talk about, listen next week, kiddies, because I'm going to share with you the secret recipe to save potentially $40 or $50 a month on your Comcast bill. No charge. I've had a couple instances with some clients where I've been able to put a big old smile on their face and a whole lot of money back in their wallet. So tune in next week while I might share some of those quiet tech secrets.
Oh, I'm gonna have to hold on and wait for that.
Exactly, but to augment your point, AJ, to use Sling TV, it's not like you have to buy another device.
Nope.
You already have the device with you, whether it's an iPhone or an Android phone or a desktop computer or your Roku or whatever you're currently consuming outside of the Comcast cable bill.
Yeah.
This is a great way to take a hard look of, do I need to have this television package expense on my bill?
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, also on that same note, next week I'll dive into the over-the-air options. This one was just on the internet option. So if you're thinking, man, maybe these guys are on to something, I already pay for it.
This is the I Hate Comcast
episode. Next week I'm going to talk about over-the-air options because we kind of forget the era of the bunny ears, and there are some better bunny ears, and we'll go into that.
It is 2016, not 1962. So yeah, there have been some advancements.
Indeed. So yeah, take a look at that. Those are the two that I haven't personally dove into it. I've been eyeballing PlayStation View, but I've had several people try PlayStation View and Sling TV, and relatively speaking, they're happy with it. The other nice thing is it's not like you're locked in. You can pay for it for a month and drop it or whatever.
This is this is over the top of Hulu and Netflix as well, because with Hulu, you get some commercial ads and you may not get the full extent of channels. This is something that is not the typical mainstream Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video ilk, which could be previous television episodes. So, check out Sling TV.
Yeah. So, Chris, on that same note, because we're heavily on video, the YouTube. Oh my gosh, the YouTube and the ads, because I want to watch the watches.tv and I want to see them going through Europe, but I have to watch a Geico ad. Are you telling me I can get rid of that?
Hey, if you happen to be listening, folks at Geico, we get the point. You're funny. Your ads about saving money on your car insurance while you're getting hit in the face with a beach ball, or you have a famous rapper telling people exactly what these little kids are selling. We get the point. Try to help us when we are actually in a collision. See how you are going to be there to be with us. That we're in good hands with you, Geico. So anyway, yes,
I sense some hostility in your past.
I'm sorry. I took my grumpy pills this morning. So anyway, I don't really care to watch an ad on YouTube, and YouTube's web page has turned into a place where it is chock full of distractions. And if you've been listening to Bellingham Podcast Media Tech for a while, you probably have realized that yours truly, right here, the guy speaking, is not a fan of distractions. And so I went and I did a little bit of a deep dive to try to find a couple ways that I can eliminate distractions. Ready? Here we go. So for Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox, these are two web browsers that I'm going to be referring to as ways to augment or enhance your YouTube experience. If you're using Internet Explorer to watch YouTube, we'll pray for you. So for Google Chrome and Firefox, go to the Chrome Web Store and do a search for ad block for YouTube. Now, make sure you get the entire phrase, because there is an ad block and an ad block plus. We're not going to talk about those. We might talk about those in a future episode. But ad block for YouTube eliminates those ads before the video.
Sweet.
Yes. And oh, by the way, it's free. So there's also another part of YouTube that is quite entertaining, but at times annoying, and that's the comments. The comments could be not safe for work. They could be something you really don't need to see.
Unsavory for children, perhaps.
Correct. And also those other videos that are along the side, you may be watching some type of video and then be watching a little thumbnail clip or a little picture of some scantily clad person or a gross, gory-looking screenshot that you may not want others to see as you're showing the cool video of the cats, playing the piano. There's in Google Chrome, this is only for the Chrome users, there's an extension called DF for YouTube. The DF stands for distraction free. Yes, it's distraction free. And it's free. And what it does is it blocks those comments and it blocks the side videos. So pretty much you're getting close to a only video web page. We're getting close to that ultimate, I want to click on a video and this is what I want. So check out DF for YouTube in your Chrome Web Store extensions search. For you Mozilla Firefox users, got you covered, because there's an add-on that you can do a search for called No YouTube Comments. Sounds self-explanatory. It's free. It basically installs a little bit of script in your Firefox web browser that allows you to eliminate that comment field. And if you don't want to have to deal with that, there you go. For all web browsers, including you Internet Explorer people.
Or Edge. Safari.
Safari, yes. Opera.
Oh, wow.
Vivaldi, name it. Basically, there is a website called QuietTube.com. QuietUbe.com. Please don't enter two T's in this website, because you might go to another place that I don't recommend. So QuietTube with 1T.com is a very simple text-only web page. What it has in the middle of it is a square rectangle with QuietTube in it. Simon says, take that square rectangle with QuietTube in it and drag it up to your bookmarks bar or add it to your favorites.
Got it.
And in the future, when you go to youtube.com on your video, it doesn't matter if you have the other add-ons or extensions I mentioned earlier. If you don't want to even deal with those and you just want to have a video-only experience, you load QuietTube or save it as a bookmark. Go to your youtube.com now, play the video. You may still get the ad, though. But you click the QuietTube bookmark, and it'll remove everything into another window. So you are it's altering the whole YouTube interface and just giving you a almost blank screen with the video. Now, it's a great feature. Give it a try. If worse comes to worse, delete the bookmark. The only problem is, well, not a problem, but they sell an ad to help finance their business, because some brilliant person had to do it because we want to buy their dinner and we want to thank them for their hard work. Now, if you wanted to block that ad, for those of you in Chrome and Firefox web browsers, if you install ad block for YouTube, you can eliminate that ad down there and just get the video experience.
Interesting.
Internet Explorer, you may not be able to do that because they don't have that type of extension on there. So those are 4 ways to be able to block annoyances with your YouTube enjoyment.
That's cool. And I know blocking ads in general is kind of a hot button topic because, again, we're using YouTube. It's a free service. How are they supposed to make money? This is where my gray hat of tech comes in because Google gets their money from our data. They don't have to necessarily get it from ads, in my opinion. That is not the views of anything else other than me. It's just, if there's 2 ways, and we've talked about this in previous shows. Like, I will pay the original content provider, or I will get it for free and I will give a little bit of my data, and that is the transaction. Getting it both ways when it comes to an ad and you get my data, I don't know. It always rubs me the wrong way a little bit.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your mileage may vary.
Mileage may vary depending on.
What we want to do is just provide a couple options to increase your enjoyment of things that are stressing you out. And believe me, I have heard these stressed out people talk about what we talk about. And so here's a public service.
Totally.
No charge.
Totally. So let's get, that's really good, Chris. I dig it. I have not, honestly, your entire list, have not heard of a single one of them.
Well, I do a little bit. I don't watch cat videos all the time on YouTube, but when I do, I want to eliminate that ad beforehand.
So I has a cheeseburger. And with that note, Bellingham districts.
Yes. Let's continue on our path in Bellingham to talk about the cool places. Whether you're here or not, whether you're from Minnesota, hi Patrick, or Tokyo, hi Danny, or if you're somewhere, we want to thank all of our listeners for around the world from tuning into this podcast. Anyway, there's a district in Bellingham. It's the Roosevelt District. It's kind of in the Alabama zone of this fair city. Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
Yeah, I'll let you go first on this one.
I'm going to go first on this one because I'm the one that thought Roosevelt District. All right. In Alabama, what is the coolest place to go to in that area? There's a lot of residential neighborhoods. There's a lot of, it's kind of like on the other side of the overpass, past a little bit of the James Street area, where we got the Trader Joe's and the, Papa Murphy's and that other area. As you go up Alabama Hill, and as you floor it, because it's such an incline in your vehicle.
Please obey all speed limit posted signs. Chris Powell is not endorsing you to go over the speed limit.
Well, as you are maintaining a speed for traffic, you're going to look up and you're going to see a little bit of a bridge. And that bridge is the Alabama Hill Pedestrian Bridge. It's a beautiful lookout to the city. I have been able to enjoy that, and part of the fun is trying to figure out where can you go to find that. It's a walking trail, and my wife and I discovered that when we were walking our dog, and it's like, oh, there it is, great. And you can start in the Barkley district of Bellingham, which we've already covered in a previous episode. But just going there, it gives you a wonderful feeling. It's a very secure bridge. It's not like one of those suspension bridges or anything like that, like Galpin-Gertie or up in Vancouver, where they have those little walking bridges. It's not a James Bond style bridge. That's right. But I got to say that the Alabama pedestrian bridge is pretty cool spot to go. You may want to go, I forget which streets it is. It's in one of the Great Lakes streets, like Huron or Ontario or Erie streets.
Okay.
You could pull off there and then you can find the trail up there. But
I think there's also a trailhead at Vining Street.
Yes, and that's probably, we just take the Barkley one and just walk a couple miles and we're there. So Anyway, AJ, what's your favorite spot in the Roosevelt District?
So as you walk and as you're doing that, you're burning calories, and I would encourage you to replenish your calories while you're in this district. Head down. There is a little gas at the bottom of Alabama Hill. There's a little gas station, right? And when you go there, it's called Yorkies. It's the Yorkies. Yorkies. We love Yorkies. Inside is an awesome place called Pizzazza. This is, I would call them a premium pizzeria. Okay, you're gonna pay quite a little bit more. quite a little bit more. But they have amazing toppings. Matter of fact, I think every topping on the menu, they can either tell you where they source it from. Like it is very tasty. Now, I'm not going to go down the route of pizza, even though they are called pizzaza. You're going to go in and you're going to ask for one of the tastiest sandwiches in Bellingham. You're going to ask for one of their grinders.
The grinders.
They have a hot Italian grinder. And it is...
We're keeping the show clean. I'm not going to have...
It's called a hot Italian grinder.
Okay, we're going to keep it clean.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, and it is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It is... It's not like burn your tongue spicy either. It is spicy Italian sausage. It's just good. And if you add some peppers, maybe some onions in... Oh, brilliant. So anyway, if you walk from Barclay to the bridge and you're getting hungry, keep walking down there, go order yourself a hot Italian grinder, and then call a friend so they can pick you up, because you're not going to want to walk back after you eat said hot Italian grinder.
Yeah, to go on a walk after such a meal would probably be not advantageous.
No.
Very cool. So that's the Roosevelt District. We got some coming up next episode as well. So.
Yeah. So Chris, if somebody wanted to, we mentioned two people that are listeners of our show. If somebody else wanted to, they listen to the show and they're like, hey, how do I get a hold of those guys? Because one, they said something and I totally missed it. Or, hey, I said something and I disagree with you and I politely want to get a hold of you guys and clear something up. How can they go about that? You,
ladies and gentlemen, are always welcome to contact me on the Twitter. I am at MNMLTEK. That's Minimal Tech, because I don't like vowels that much. And if I was to remove the E, it would be Minimal Tick. And that's not what I'm about.
Weird. That's weird.
Anyway, so Minimal Tech on Twitter, and I'm around. Just Google Chris Powell Bellingham as per usual. How about you, AJ?
They can get a hold of me on the Twitter or the Instagram. It's both at AJ Barse, AJ BARSE. Also, we have a listener voicemail box, don't we, Chris?
That's right. And so should you want to get in touch with us outside of the Twitter, give us a call on your mobile phone device or on rotary phone if you happen to have one at your granny's house. So it's area code 201-731-8324. That's 201-731-TECH. Drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have ideas to talk about on the show. If you got something that's been bugging you about your devices or technology, let us know, because we have ideas up our sleeve. We research stuff.
Yeah.
And, and of course, please ask us nicely, because we don't really, we bruise easily.
Yeah.
We're kind of like Chiquita Bananas.
Absolutely.
We like happy messages and productive, constructive messages, but the flame wars are just not. We're over that. That was 2006.
No, and you gave some tools on how to anti-flame YouTube for that very reason.
Exactly.
Also, if you do leave us a voicemail and you leave it nicely, you may be featured on the show. We've done that a few times before.
That's right. And so we have a guest correspondent or a guest question. Love to put you on the air.
Yeah. So before we go, Chris, this last section of our show is App-on-tap, things that we're messing around with, or services or sites or stuff that is just fresh, and maybe we're not as fluent in it. But what are you looking into? Any last minute tips or any apps that you're diving into?
There's a great little app for mind mapping that I'm really getting into, because I have a whole lot of ideas that I got to plan out and plot out in a big picture item. On iOS, Android users, this one's called Mindnode. It costs you a couple bucks, but for the most part, it's wonderfully graphically designed. It can be integrated with your desktop Mac, and is a great tool. I've enjoyed Mindnode. How about you, AJ?
Yep, I've used that same app. Actually, it saved my bacon at a conference once. I had to make something and map it. This is a hack, and this is something I stumbled upon, and I have been telling everybody that I can, because I have yet to see it advertised anywhere. If you are an iOS user and you have several photos and you're like, gosh, I could attach all these photos, like 10 photos, to an email, and that's going to take 9 bajillion years or whatever. Mash, it would be so nice. I wish if I could just compile this into a PDF. Guess what? You can on iOS.
Really?
If you're running iOS 10, if you're in the Photos app, select several photos, and then you have that little share button at the bottom. If you go to share and share to iBooks, you'll notice that in iOS 10, it says that you can share to iBooks as PDF.
Oh, that's tasty.
And on your iOS phone, it will take those photos, PDF it, and it will reside right there in iBooks, at which point you can email it.
That is a great hack.
Yep. I stumbled upon it, and I have been trying to point people to, because I've not seen a tech blog or anybody mention that feature in iOS.
Wow, that's good. That's a good find.
Yep. That wraps up for this edition of BPM Tech. Thank you so much for tuning in, subscribing, rating us, and reviewing us on iTunes, on the Google Play Store, or on Spreaker. That is Speaker, but with an R, or wherever else you get our podcast. I'm AJ Barsay.
And I'm Chris Powell. Thanks a lot for joining us on BPM Tech.